The broadcast is live. Two broads doing a broadcast. Welcome to Clown World Cousins. When I say Clown World, you say Cousins. Clown World. Again, let's do it again. Come on, I'm in a mood to party. Okay, let's party, girlfriend. When I say Clown World, you say Cousins. Clown World.
Cousins.
Oh my God! Like you're the worst.
Is that right?
Never, ever bringing you to the Cancun or anywhere. You don't get it. Okay.
This is all very, very undignified.
Oh, partying.
I'm kidding. I'm so uptight. Is my point, Faye?
Partying is undignified, and I definitely am in a party mood. Well, we're wifing, we're lifing, we're cleaning, we're streaming, stores, chores, and blue-pilled boars. You look gorgeous with your new necklace.
Oh, yeah, my son got me this for Valentine's Day. My one daughter thought it was a swastika from a distance, but it is an M and it's sideways. But I don't know why it's
very, very pretty. And I don't even know if my son said Happy Valentine's Day to me. So what a very good boy he is.
He is a good boy. How was your Valentine's Day?
Well, I was I was a little under the weather, but and our 20th anniversary was on Monday, and we had a really nice time. We're going away in March for our anniversary, but this is the sweetest thing, and I can't even with this. My husband wrote me a poem, and he read it at dinner in front of the kids, and I mean, it was just like to have a love poem written for you. It was really sweet. What? What?
You're going to get a lot of men in trouble spreading that around.
Why, men? It doesn't cost. Hey, men, it doesn't cost anything to write a poem. I was kind of getting annoyed with Joe this week, and we were hugging, and he whispered in my ear, and he was trying to get me not to be mad anymore, and he was like, "Remember that time I wrote you a poem?" And I was like, "Oh yes, I love that time," which was 3 days ago.
That time. And yeah, my son was telling me he works at a grocery store, and the day after Valentine's Day, what would that be, Wednesday? The flower department sold out because so many dudes forgot it was Valentine's Day. So at least my husband remembered, I guess.
Well, I loved Ray. I was very loving Ray's stream. He did a grocery store stream. I don't know if you caught it, but we love Ray at the grocery store.
He did I didn't see it. I love that crap.
It's the best.
I watched this guy. He's called Traveling with Russell. And basically all he does is go to Russian grocery stores, and I love it. And there's another guy, Adventures with Dano, who also goes to the grocery store. Anytime you're in a grocery store, I'm in. I'm there for you.
Ray posted a great video, and it was just a line 30 minutes long of guys with their flowers on Valentine's Day. And I was like, this is why Joe and I got married at City Hall on the 13th. So, he just misses the rush, and he never forgets it. So, and then we eloped. Yeah. So what else is going on?
What else? Huh?
I'm sorry. I have to turn you up a little bit.
Oh, I wasn't talking. So, this is so boring, but here we go. You ready? For the first time in my life, I started taking a prescription medicine, and I'm having really weird effects of it. So I stopped taking it yesterday, but I still feel like my heart's about to pound out of my chest, and
I don't like that.
I know. And I called my sister. I was like, how do I know if I'm having a heart attack? What is happening? But I'm convinced it's the prescription meds that I'm on. So hopefully this wine will help. So
I hope that probably. Mary, I don't like you taking prescriptions. It's sorcery. I mean, come on, you're in the know.
Oh, I know. This is for my thyroid. So I had half my thyroid taken out, and I went back a couple weeks ago, and they were like, okay, you can keep your other half for another year, but we want you to take a low dose of this medication. And so I started taking it. I started having all these crazy reactions to it because my body's not used to this, And I'm like, thank God I didn't take out my whole thyroid. Could you imagine if I was finding this out too late? That's scary. That would be scary.
So scary. And I apologize that I have the reverse of hypochondriac. Uh like my sister-in-law is always having medical problems. I never ask her about them. I am just out of sight, out of mind with medical stuff. It's
Yeah,
like the
sure.
reverse of hypochondria. I don't want to, it's not that I don't care, but it's like, oh, you told me and now I don't want to think about it. I don't want to bring it into my world. So I apologize. I just hope that you're okay. Let me know if I can do anything, but try to get off that pharmaceutical stuff.
Well, my sister, when I called my sister with all my concerns, like, am I having a heart attack? She's like, well, if you think you're having a heart attack, go to the ER. I said, oh, I can't do that. I'm going on my live with Faye. And she goes, okay, obviously you're not that concerned. So can't,
That's true.
no.
I'm
So, yeah,
Well, I'm honored, but you feel okay, right? You're gonna be all
no.
right, right?
If I dropped dead, I had a good run. So,
Hey, as Madonna said, "Do you want it to happy?"
exactly.
I used to play that in spin class. Do you want it to happy? I forget it. I'm just in a
Yeah.
mood, guys. I just want to let you know. So,
Yeah.
anyway, because
So,
I've been laying low during the week. I've been walking my dogs. I've been going to work. So this is like party time for me now.
I think people need to know that you and I made our own personal record today by the earliest phone call between the two of us ever, probably in history, which was at
Because I was
8:30
at
in the
work
morning.
and I was like, what did I text you something? I was texting you
You
about
did,
the live, and
yeah,
you were like, what should we name it? And I was like, whoa, she just texted me back. She's up. I think it was like at 8:30. And so I was like, what?
8:30.
And I was like, Mary, just listen. I know it's hard for you, but I don't feel I wasn't
Yep.
making it for you. That's what I love about my job. The hardest part is waking up, but then I'm up. But I did get a little
Yeah.
nap. I got a little nap after I walked 4 dogs, so I'm loving dog walking. It's good. I like my
Yeah.
thighs aren't rubbing together, so it's like, yeah, pay me to do cardio and hang out with your dogs. I'll take it.
That's a
You know
huge win.
it is a huge win. I'm
Yeah.
walking for days, and then I just do like my strength training at home and call it a day, and you know, that's all we can do.
Yeah. So what else? What's going on with you?
I've been really busy. Sorry to be cliche, but in a good way. Like I'm hanging out with the dogs who I don't really have to talk to, and I don't really have any stories. The store's been okay, and the
Yeah, yeah,
kids have.
yeah.
We had our anniversary, and everything's great. Thank God. Like thank God, thank God, thank God. Everyone's
Yeah.
fine. Thank God. You guys?
Everything's fine. I do love that. Okay. So this morning when we were talking about the live, and you were like, I want to call it MILFs. And what was the other one? It's up there, Muggles.
Muggles.
So,
Would you want to start with the
first of all,
Muggles?
with the
First of all,
when
guys, I just want to say, Mary and I don't think we're MILFs. So if anyone's tuning in for that, it's a different story. So
you don't speak for me, girlfriend.
what is MILFs for? Mothers I'd like to fool around with. That's the word we keep
Okay.
repeating.
So this is the thing. So when I was making the title of it, I felt so vulgar even putting that in the title that I made it an exclamation point instead of an I, because it's like how far we have fallen, society. So
When we talk about what we're going to talk about, when Mary first sent it to me, I was like, well, we'll get into it. Do you want to do Muggles first or MILFs first? And we've got other stuff. Can I just start with Muggles?
yeah, I feel like that's right.
Okay. So sometimes I call them NPCs. Sometimes I call them not. So what is it? NPCs. What's the other one? Why am I drawing a blank? NPCs, zombies. The words we have for them besides NPC. What's the other one? What's the other one?
Normie.
Normie. Thank you. So normies, NPCs, guys. I'm only calling them Muggles going forward. And now I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. My sister loves Harry Potter. We always say it like that. We have to. That's my English accent, Harry Potter. But it is a word from Harry Potter, and Muggles just basically means a non-magical person, a person that doesn't realize there's a magical world. I heard someone in the stream call what we're living in, and he nailed it. An occultocracy. We're living in an occultocracy. We are under the rule of very dark occultists, and in
Yes.
my opinion, fallen angels too. But the normie and the NPC and the zombie, when I'm in a really bad mood, they don't understand that there are spells being done on them on a daily basis. And I'm seeing the result of one of the biggest spells I've ever seen in my life. They're muggles. That's it. And muggles doesn't like damn them to hell or anything. They're just muggles. They don't know. I don't know what I would be or what you would be because we're aware that we're under the spellcraft. I don't understand the spells. I don't know what they do. Let's talk about this spell for a second. Okay, if you don't mind. I had a squirrel named Muggles in high school. Oh,
Aw. He's passed.
God.
Rest him.
I
Rest him.
love Ray. Ray, your high school squirrel has passed away.
Mhm.
Rest in peace, Muggles. I love Ray so much. I love him. But anyway, okay, so Muggles, that's what I'm calling them going forward because it's the perfect expression. Okay, so let's talk about this spell. And even truthers would be like, and the funny thing is that like it doesn't even do anything. The funny thing is it's so stupid. You know what, guys? It does do something. And you can say it's really stupid, but the world just underwent a huge ritual that's still a little bit ongoing. You can see it in their eyes. These people have changed. Do I know how or what was done? Of course not. But
See,
I
this is
know.
what I was afraid of. We should have started with MILFs.
All right, we're gonna go to Mills. Let me just
That's
tell
where
you.
we should have started because that ties into the rest of the show, basically what you're saying. Right?
I
Right?
just Okay. We can do MILFs now, but I want to go back to Muggles because I did a
Yes,
deep.
I feel like we have to bookmark that because MILFs is silly, it's stupid, and it just shows the decline of society. All right?
I'm calling them Muggles going forward, and I think it's perfectly. I can't think of a better word. So thank you, Harry Potter, for giving me the perfect word.
Yeah.
Because I'm
It's good.
sorry to anyone tuning in that doesn't get it. The people and the creatures running your world, like with the crazy runes and the crazy symbols on the back of your dollar bill, they're casting spells on you and me and on our families on a daily basis.
See, that's why we should have started with MILF.
I love RT. That's hilarious.
All right. No, well, we were
All
talking
right.
about
So then
MILFs. It's such a shorter, like, just blip on the radar of things that we are seeing in this debaucherous society that we live in. But there's a show I'm sure nobody here has ever heard of, but it's called MILF Manor. Okay. And it's a bunch of these MILFs. I guess they're at a manor. And
in
speaking,
Mexico, I think that's why
yeah.
I'm in the party mood because Mexico makes me want to jump on a
So
speaker.
yeah, I was watching. I
Love it.
sent Faye the trail. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I did. I don't. Yeah, I didn't mean to overtalk you there. I sent Faye the trailer for it, and she was like, "I don't know. Good, more power to them." And then I sent her this clip. All right, because
I didn't know the whole story.
exactly. So I just want to show you. This is a television show. Okay, so all these milfs are at the island, and they're waiting for the reveal.
Mexico is not an island. It's a beautiful country south of
I thought they
America.
were. I didn't think they were in Mexico.
They're in Mexico
I
in a
thought it was the
mansion,
Bahamas.
and that's what's putting me in. I'm going to Mexico soon, and if you guys haven't been to Mexico, it's the bomb. So go ahead. It is
So
the bomb.
yes, Melanie, it's called MILF Manor.
All right,
So
show the clip.
so yes, so when after Faye said that to me, I was like, oh wait, no, she's missing a key
I
piece of this program. So I sent her this. It's a really short
That's my
clip.
mom right there.
Oh, sorry. Hold on, I gotta go back.
That's my mom right there.
So
that's a man. That's a man.
you think
that
that
one right
one's the man?
I do. I do. I see. Look at the neck going on right there. Sorry. Go ahead.
When I went back to watch it, because you had said that, I was trying to figure out which one was the man that you were talking about. But or MTF, is that what it is? But anyway, the bottom line is, so on this show, the MILFs go to Mexico, and their sons are there. And so the young men are like 23 years old. Some of these women are almost 60, because I did do some research, Faye. And I guess the plot of the show is that you're supposed to watch your elderly mother date guys your age. Is that and be okay with it? It's so debaucherous. When I was explaining it to my son, he literally turned around and walked out of my room. He did it without saying a word. He was just like, unbelievable.
Well, when you first sent it to me again, I didn't get the element that their sons were there, and I was like, because I'm just like, what?
No, you finish. I told you I wasn't going to do this to you tonight.
It's so you're not doing anything to me. I want to know. I can't see the chat.
It's right there in Cougar Canyon, duh.
I love it.
I love it.
So anyway, when Mary first sent it, she sent me the first clip, and they're like, in a mansion in Mexico, these older women, and they're like, I love younger men. And you know how I feel. I'm like, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I was like, I don't really. And Mary's like, this is just unbelievable. And I emailed her back, and like, we don't always agree on everything, but I was like, why is she getting so mad? Like, it's 2023. She's like, why is she so upset about this? And I wrote her back, and I didn't want to like start a fight, but I was like, I say good for them. Like, but then she wrote me back, and she's like, Faye, you don't get it. Their sons are there. And I was like, oh, that is 100% messed up, because I don't want my husband to look at me as matronly, but I want my son to look at me as matronly forever. Sometimes my nose is so itchy, guys. I swear I wasn't doing cocaine. I haven't done it for a long time. But anyway, for a very long time, since before kids. Thank you. But anyway, I don't want my husband to look at me as a mom, but my son, I do. And sometimes like Joe and I will be kissing and hugging, and he'll blush, but that's me with his father. Like, not like guys his age. There's worse things happening in the world for sure.
Absolutely.
It's a sign of the time.
It is. That's how I see it. It just shows how depraved we are as a society. And I'm sorry, I don't consider myself a Puritan by any stretch of the imagination, but I even felt uncomfortable knowing what MILF means, putting that in the title. So I'm like, oh, I'll just make an exclamation point, It's just gross, because I guess that's normal. Just talking about people that you want to just F, and that's what we're degraded to at this point.
It's just really sad. It made me think, because it's funny about like this whole age thing. And if it's like, first of all, I like we've talked about before, we are done. Like, if anything, God forbid happened to Mike or Joe, like, been there, done that. Like, I'll be with my cousins and my sisters, and
yes,
this is it. I'm with the last man I'll ever be with. Thank God. Thank you for sending me my soulmate. But to think that, like, if I was single, and I know people get lonely, I'm not saying that everyone has to like never date again if they lose their spouse, but to like imagine dating one of your son's friends. It's mortifying. It's funny because we were talking about, I think I'm allergic to my makeup. My nose is like,
no, really sometimes if I drink coffee too late, the very tip of my nose gets itchy. I don't know.
So anyway, last week we were talking about just in passing, we were talking about the movie Legally Blonde. Remember that? And
Remember
the daughter ended up being the one that killed the guy. And I just remember one part. She's like, he was married. She's my age. He's married to someone my age. And
Yeah.
that movie was back in the day. I don't know. I think age appropriateness, there's something to be said. But then again, my mother-in-law is 9 years older than her husband, and they seem happy.
Oh, I
9
have
years
absolutely no problem with an age difference. I have a friend whose husband is 10 years older than her, and they're not
old.
like he's not like a creep pervert, literally at all.
Oh, I think
Um,
that's normal for a guy. I think most guys want like a girl that's at least 6 years younger. Usually, that's the norm.
that's what I say to my son too. But my son's like, no, I want my peer. You know, he's young, so he feels like
No,
if well,
I'm a
not for
couple
him
years
right now.
older than
He's too young. Sorry.
I'm a couple years older than Joe. He likes it that way. He's always had a thing for not older women, but
Yeah, in both of I'm not gonna let that cat out of the bag, actually. I'll let that cat stay in the bag on that one. But yeah, I know plenty of people. I happen to be younger than my husband, and I just think it was, it just happened to be that way. I don't think it would, you know,
all I
matter.
was thinking about once I realized what the point is of this MILF Manor, I was like, how badly do you want a free trip to Mexico? I just like it's so bad. Like what people I sometimes watch TV and I'm like, how badly do you want to be on TV? Seriously, like the things that come out of their mouth, there's not enough money I say it all the time, to pay me to say them. Kit and
Hold on,
Sons.
Kitten Sons. So when I was naming this, I was very uncomfortable with the title, and I'm sorry that you missed that's why it's an exclamation point instead of an
I
I.
think it's fitting, grasping my
Grasp
pearls.
me well, I don't know because, like, I don't like that. It's so in to me, it is so incredibly, like, I don't know, it's almost, like, vulgar at this
Yeah,
point, and
you
they're
know what,
calling
Mary?
TV shows this. So it was on a TV show, you may have missed that part. Go ahead.
Well, it's just it goes along with the degradation of women, and motherhood has been so cheapened in our society. I can see why you're getting upset, and I've completely been desensitized to it apparently. But yeah, like I don't know. The only one I want thinking of me that way is my husband. You know what I mean? But that's bullshit because like we all women we all like to.
Actually, no, I think that's actually a very valid thing to say because if you're starting to chase anybody else wanting to think of you like that, you're gonna look like Madonna by the
Joe just
age of, like,
texted me.
54.
Joe just called me a cokehead. I'm not a cokehead.
I don't think anybody thought that.
Oh, no, he's joking.
Yeah, just because you said that. But, like, you know what I mean? It's like we have all these women that are like going back to last week, like talking about Madonna and cosmetic surgery and all this kind of stuff. Those are people that aren't just like, you know what? I'm going to go get my facials. I'm going to look good for my husband. And this is where it's at, you know?
I just think that I would never put my son in that position. I just really wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah. So moving on back to the Muggles. All right. Because I see Kitten Sons wants to move on. She wants to talk about something real. All right. And
So she's just tuning
Boston
in.
Ray says, me too.
Okay,
They and I
whoa.
love our catty talks,
I
guys.
know. I mean, come on, guys.
But
Girl talk.
okay.
So I said I'm no longer going to be referring to the normies and the NPCs as normies and NPCs because I've determined that the perfect thing to call them is muggles, and it's a term from Harry Potter, and it means just non-magical people that are unaware of the magical realm. We are living in a world where we're literally ruled by witches and warlocks. I'm sorry if people don't get that, but the creatures and people that rule this world are religious nut jobs. Okay, so I just want to there and the a spell has been recently cast, and it has to do with the face diaper. So I did a little mini deep dive today on. So Mary, you remember last week, the Christian album of the year was "Breathe." Okay,
Mhm.
because they're not letting the spell go, and it is a spell, guys. That has to do with the air. You have the George Floyd thing. I can't breathe, and then this, and it's never ending. And then like the worst is when you had like the brothers and the sisters and everyone, and they're wearing the masks that say I can't breathe. It's like, I mean,
Or a
then I want to,
t-shirt, a
then I
t-shirt with the mask on.
no, but when the mask literally says it and it's covering your breathing holes, it's almost like I want to go back to NPC because I don't even think a muggle could be that stupid. But anyway, I did a little deep dive on breath. Okay. I always knew because I studied a little Latin when I was homeschooling my children that the word for breath in Latin was spirito, spirit. Okay. So anyway, I did a little Google today on that, and it was very, very hard to find. Okay. They're trying to bury that. But I finally found something. So this is a little Latin for you. So the word aspire. So you aspire to something. Aspire means to breathe on. Conspire means to breathe together. Expire means to breathe out. Inspire means to breathe in. Okay, are we getting this? Perspire means to breathe through. Transpire means to breathe across. This is just a few of them. Are we getting to the fact that our breath might be a little bit more? It's not stupid. It's not funny. What was done is spiritual. Okay, and then I did a screenshot of this. This was the fine. I had to do a little deep dive of this. I want people to understand because it's not too late for you. Okay, you just need to understand what is actually happening. Okay, so, and then this was the final paragraph, and it says, finally, a related term, spirit. So I looked up Latin and breath. It was all of those things I just said. Did you hear those, Mary? It's kind of a big deal. Okay, so finally, a related term is spirit. Word has multiple meanings. It became associated with divine power. Okay, this is the word breath. Okay, we're still interpreting breath. It means spirit and it means divine power. And then it says, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm a very good vision person. Also based on supernatural sense, it serves as a synonym for ghost. In addition, breath is acquired in alchemy. I'm sorry, an association with volatile substances. I'm sorry. The point is that it's the spirit. I got a little off track because I couldn't read it. It's very small. The final paragraph said, finally, a related term to breath is spirit. The word has multiple meanings. It became associated with divine power. Do you want me to read those again? What all of those mean? Spells, muggles. You are under, spells are being done to you and to me, but at least I know it. We got to start praying against this stuff. It's
You
bad,
know,
Mary.
it's
Thoughts?
kind of it's weird because while you're saying this stuff, you did send me a video earlier in the week just for us. We're not going to like talk about it too much here tonight. Just we also share things that we like personally. But I remember that the person was talking about whatever they were talking about, and at the top of the screen, it had that breathe. Like, what was that? It was menthol. It was eucalyptus. It was like you talked about it last
The
week.
boost air.
Boost air.
Which is related to this. Okay, finally,
Yeah.
the back end of this spell, muggles. Okay, that's what you are, and it's not. I'm not damning you to hell, but you don't understand what is happening to you. Even the technology, the Wi-Fi, it's spelled the music. Okay, Satan was the chief musician of heaven. Okay, I'm not saying I understand how any of it works, but I do know that they're really into it. The back end. I wish it was the back end of this breathing air spell because I
Yeah.
don't know how far they're going to go with this. I do
Right.
believe there are elements in our society that want humanity like this all the time forever. but they're selling air in cans. It's called
Right.
Boost Air.
Yes. And when you were talking about it, to be honest, I had never heard of it. So I'm happy that you brought it up. And now I'm starting to see it, like when people like mention it, I'm like, what the isn't that like, remember people making fun of bottled water? All right. I'm talking about the normies. We're all, even though I think most of us know that bottled water comes from a municipal plant at this point, like places like Nestle and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. But people were like, why are you drinking bottled water? That's like buying air. You need it for life. And now literally it's like, did we like speak this into reality? I don't know. Because now all of a
They
sudden, guess
are
what they're
making
selling us? They're selling us air with menthol. Menthol. Weren't menthol cigarettes just banned in Massachusetts? Why are they allowed now to sell menthol in air?
because it's Clown World. And it literally is Clown World. I sent you that video. We don't have to get into it with Wayne McCroy, but he was theorizing that they literally the magicians, Muggles that run the world, did a spell on the 6th of the first month of the year in 20. What year was that? I even forget. With that big,
It was 20.
the big fake.
No, was it 2020?
I don't even know,
January
but it was
6th?
so orchestrated. But
It must have been 21 because it was after the I forget, but anyway. I mean, isn't that unbelievable? There's so much going on that we can't even remember what the media wanted us to remember as a major event. It's like, yeah, what
so
year
much,
was that?
yeah, because everything's also moving so fast. So fast, like one of the reasons why when at the beginning of the stream you're like, "Hey, how are you? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I walk dogs. I made dinner. Like blah 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 blah." Things are moving so fast.
So
Thank God,
fast.
it is Clown World.
Can I prompt you right now to because it does tie into the air and especially what these all these agendas are doing to young people. Can I prompt you for the story that about your local high school? Is that
Oh,
okay?
sure, yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
guess
okay.
we're using showbiz terms now. Okay.
AI terms actually. If you
Oh
want to
God.
if you want to prompt the chat GPT, that you got to prompt it.
Oh God. Yes, prompt me. Or do you want me to tell the story?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just something that I called Mary from the supermarket after our early phone call. I called her again because I didn't feel like texting. I said there is one other thing I want to talk about, and I said because it's hit home, and I guess that I don't watch the news at all, but I heard another stream mention that the uptick in fights in especially high schools is up. And the reason usually I would just be like, oh my God, what else is new? My daughter witnessed 2 fights. But this is the thing, and she feels safe. Like I sat her down. Like my kids know that there's a problem, they can walk out. I go, "Do you feel safe?" And my kids are like, "We're not involved in any of it," and I believe them. And you know what? I saw some fights when I was in high school, but this is the problem. The fights were both boy versus girl, boy versus girl. Now that I never saw. Like what the actual and thanks pornography. Men hate women now on the violent. They hate us. Like they don't even. I walked by a few at the grocery store today. They have black eyes, and I'm not talking about the ones that struggle with it. Okay, if you struggle with it and you know it's not like a good thing, then I get it. But there's ones that are just like they hate women. And these kids have been looking at it since they were in 3rd grade, and now they're getting in fist fights with girls. Sad part is, I think the girls win. Are you okay, Mary?
No.
I'm not even.
No, sister, I'm not okay. I mean, that is so upsetting. I remember seeing a fight in high school between 2 girls, and I was traumatized. Well, not traumatized. That's an exaggeration. But I was like, "Oh my god, the girls are fighting?" I want to know like who not that you would have this at all, like this information. Who started that fight? Did the girl go at the dude? Are women losing their minds because there's a huge
everyone's losing their minds. It has to do with this. I was screaming from the rooftops to deprive yourself of oxygen is going to go to your brain. Joe's like, Faye, they think it's okay because no one passed out. It's not okay. Okay, the only hope we have is repenting and finding God, but they're not preaching that at school. This is severely damaged people.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I just wanted to bring this up because this is another point to the whole mask thing. Pandemic effect, more fights and classroom disruption, new data shows. And this is from June 6th. So last June. This isn't even current. And they're putting out this 1 in 3. You know what, Faye, though? It's interesting. When I get to my next story, you're also going to see the 1 in 3. The 1 in 3,
Always,
which seems to be a little repetitive.
Because it's a spell, Muggles. They're really into their numbers.
Like,
I'm trying
literally.
to help us. Yeah.
Okay, so 1 in 3 school leaders noticed an uptick in student fights or physical attacks this past school year, and they believe. Sorry, I don't have my spectacles on, that they believe were brought on by the pandemic and its lingering effects, new data shows. So it's like on things like this, I'm very conflicted because I'm like, if I saw something like that, of course, I'm going to see the numerology first. But then you're like telling me that your daughter has experienced it.
Right.
So,
it was in her Spanish class. And so my son is like the more book smart one, and my daughter is not an all AP, and that's fine. I'm much more concerned with her mental health right now. And she's in this Spanish class where I guess like every derelict in the school is in, and she just kind of like stays. She's under the radar, and she's got her brother there. I looked her in the eye and I said, I'm like, do you feel safe? Are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. Don't even worry about me. But
yeah. But there is something to be said because this whole like kind of thing conversation, I guess, because you didn't I don't know, you told me that after I shared this, and let me just again with the 1 in 3. Now I'm sussed out, Faye. Actually, oh sorry, my daughter just said don't say sussed.
We're literally ruled by witches and warlocks, and like those vampire like little slaves. Those
1 in 3.
Wow.
1 in 3.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's boys too. Hey, I mean, I considered killing myself in high school. I mean, I didn't do it, but like, this is kind of hyperbole. I think that a lot of kids consider it for either attention or after a bad breakup.
Yeah. I mean, this is because when we were talking about this, I was like, these kids have been through so much. So it's very believable, right? We know what these young people have been through, but now the repetition of 1 in 3 is got me a little bit like, maybe I don't want to share this.
Right.
But these kids,
I didn't mean to just sound callous either. Like, I considered suicide in high school, because I can't imagine what these children have been through. And this is why I'm not trying to make parents feel bad, but you have to understand what you just participated in. Okay. It's not acting like everything's okay is not going to be okay. You have to admit that, oh my God, I was wrong and I am sorry. I apologized to my son for the day he was born. I've talked about it. I was blue pilled. I said, snip him and clip him, take him. I didn't know. It's horrific when I think about my son's first day. We make mistakes. We're deceived. It's okay. You can say, I was wrong. Say it to your children so we can move forward. But a random fan.
I know this, guys, there is so much that these young people, and not to sound like an old fogey, but I am an old fogey. I'm okay with it. Girl, oh my gosh, RT is keeping them rolling in the aisles. Girls I'd like to play.
I love RT. Because you know what? Because RT is the real deal. And I just want to say to RT, like RT, just between you and me online on the internet, have
Bring
you
it to your phone.
noticed
Bring
all
it to
the
your phone.
okay. Oh, I don't think you can see many numbers. This is
Okay, just to warn you, I've made that mistake.
Thank you. It's just my husband called me a cokehead.
Um,
RT. We saw when all this fighting began to go down. Have you noticed how like staged and scripted these characters are? And RT, you nailed it. Just wanted to tell you that. It's very scripted and staged. There are some real players in it that are like, wow,
this is what I'm thinking now. See, you shouldn't send me stuff, because when you send it to me, so now I'm thinking about that video once again that you sent me, where it's like our spectrum are of
Excuse me,
the,
1 second. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
it's all right. You have
I'm
a
trying
call?
to get my husband to come up. Are you watching, Joe? Please come up. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I texted my husband. He didn't
Yeah.
answer. I put my
He's
daughter
ignoring
downstairs.
me. Go ahead.
But
I'm sorry.
no. With the where was I going with that? I lost my point. It's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
It's about time. You're making Mary lose her train of thought.
I lost it, Joe. It's your fault. It's not because I'm a scatterbrain.
With 8 kids, you have a right to be a scatterbrain, my friend. Fill it like all the way up, honey.
No, but anyway, back to what these young
It is
people.
party time. When I say clown world, you say cousin. Sorry, it's party time.
I'm still not going to say it, but I'll pretend
you
to
will.
kind of dance in my little cube
Yeah.
that I'm clicking right now. But these young people and what they're dealing with and what they're up against, it's like, yeah, to me, even growing up, when I grew up, I was in high school in the 90s, okay? But yeah,
Me
the
too.
fact a boy putting his hands on a female student, the cops would have been
Never.
called.
Right. It would have never. You're right about that. And you're right. But, you know, this is not saying that you and I want it, but this push for equality that literally no one wants. I was thinking today about like how your son, who I adore and who, if the world was real, would be on his way to being a leader because
Oh,
he's
that's
such a
what it was.
good kid. He's smart. But
Yeah.
like the fact that he was disappointed with the elections and that he wanted a red tsunami, I literally was thinking about it today. I was like, no, like her children are too good to participate in that humiliation
He,
ritual.
keep in mind, he only just turned 18,
I know.
okay?
But
So, I mean,
do him a favor, and it's a humiliation ritual. They lose on purpose. The conservatives. I used to be involved, and I'd be like,
okay, so
why
I remember what I was going to say. With that
they
video that you
lose on
sent me,
purpose?
he was
Yeah.
talking about our five senses, and we only have, so much. Like, we can't hear a dog whistle, we can't see certain spectrums of light, and we depend so much on our five senses. And there's so many other things going on in the like kind of the real spectrum that we're not so certain of. So I thought he was really interesting because he was talking about like colors, like the emerald green. Remember the scarlet? It wasn't, they don't call it scarlet though. No, it's like a red.
Magenta. Are you talking?
Magenta.
You're talking about Matt from Quantum of Conscience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And but what he was saying is like, and I really liked it because for me, sometimes it got kind of weird when everybody was like, oh, this is all a script. This is all a script. It's like, yeah, but if you sit back and you think about it, that does seem impossible. Now, politics, very easy, but like a football game, not as easy. Okay. Even though I did see the Bruins totally throw the Stanley Cup out the window in person. So, but but
What's BDAT saying? That
no,
might
no,
be
no.
the biggest nickname I ever heard. BDAT. I love it.
My B dad. I've B and B dad. So my favorite people. But I do like the idea that it's like there you always say it. You're always like, this is spiritual. This is spiritual. And it's like we only have a basic, concept of what reality is based on our five senses. And there's so much more going on outside of us that we have no concept of. And you know what's funny? Hold on, Faye. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. But one more thing. Tom Brady had to retire for a second time, mind you. Yes. Retire when that witch divorced him. Isn't that interesting? So
Yeah.
there's a lot more going on that I think that, we
That the
don't.
muggles don't know about. And I've been a
Yes.
muggle. I have been a muggle. And I'm probably still, I don't know what the word is. I'm a muggle that now knows. I don't know exactly what the goal is. I don't know how it works, but at least I know that I'm not going to say they're above me. They're just more in the know. I'll send you Matt's latest. I know that Matt's more like I love Matt. Matt, I feel like Matt from Quantum is a Christian. He just doesn't know it yet. He did one video about like the world system, and I told him, I was like, I said there's a theory going around, Matt, that we're in the short season of Satan. It's a biblical thing. And I go, I know you're not a Christian. I said, but this video could be exhibit A. His newest one is titled, How Much Do the Creeps Really Know? And it was about 50 minutes. I listened to it last night. You'll love it. He uses the hobo code. But he's fascinating. Very smart guy.
Really, really, because I love just the balance there. Like right now, think of all the psyops we're living under and that we're witnessing on a day-to-day basis.
So much, and it's coming at everyone from all angles. And the adults, myself included, are on the brink of insanity. And then you show me that 1 in 3 about teenagers. Of course, these teenagers deserve an award. All of them that just like are getting up and doing it.
I'm thinking the number is way greater. Okay, because there's no doubt. I mean, I think that it was my other cousin who was telling me they just had another suicide of a teen girl in that area that she lives. I just, the only thing that I was getting kind of freaked out about is that both articles said 1 in 3, the whole like 13 or 3,
right.
We all know the numerology. So it's probably way higher.
We know, but we don't. And I'm just trying to wake up the muggles. Like, just be aware and, just pray against it. Because it's when we say it's coming at us from all sides, it's true. This pillow from the dollar store, okay? Like, it has little hearts. It's cute. I got it for my daughter, and she's like, Mom, this is so, I don't like it. So I have it in my bed for Valentine's Day. Like, literally, there are people that say that, like, items like this have curses put on them. There are Christians that go so far that say, clean your house of anything and it's cursed objects. I don't go that far.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But I do go this far. I do know that there are entities and people, whatever you want to call them, that are literally, they're putting spells on us. I see the results. I see the look in people's eyes, Mary. I don't know if you see it. I get out more than you do. People's eyes are dead. They're dead. They're the color of the black on your shirt. And it's sad. They're like zombies. Like, sometimes they'll be checking me out and they'll have their mask on and they're like, it is sad. It is. And muggles. Me?
You're overwhelming me. Hold on. No, you're not. But no, there's so much. You just covered so much. Okay. Cursed items. First of all, is it a thing? Yes. Is everything that comes into my home that I got off of like Home Goods cursed? No. Who has the time? And I'm seeing no effects of it in my house. Right. I do sometimes get nervous about secondhand stores and like bringing stuff in that I know has been owned, because I believe that you can even imprint on an item. So anyway, I have crazy theories.
You know how I feel, and what I try to do is on the way home in my cars, I pray over my items, especially food. because we might forget to pray and give thanks for our food. So I just pray over the whole hall in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, back to the young people, the youth. Um, my daughter, this is just an example. My daughter, who was on a couple weeks ago with me, that I talked over the entire time and was really disrespectful to, or so she tells me. Um, she had a game that didn't go so well, right? And the coaches are like texting her like, oh, don't worry about it, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, I'm sure they're dealing with these young people, in youth sports, that are so fragile that something like that would completely push them over the edge. And you know what I mean? And it's like, it's really sad. We're seeing the effects of, I mean, especially the past, now what, almost 3 years, because we have what, kids coming from broken homes. That's been going on forever. Kids that are, not given direction. That's been going on forever. Something has changed with these young people, and it started in 2020.
Something's changed with the adults too, and you could see it in their eyes, and it's going on. I believe, I go back to just lying to yourself. I can come off as judgmental. Joe checks me about that a lot. Like, he asked me, he's like, Faye, please don't make snap judgments. And I know that I can come off that way, but I really just want to help people. I get very like judgy about the fact that parents let their kids wear masks, but what I'm doing is I'm trying to help you and your family. Okay. The quickest way to an adolescent's heart is honesty and authenticity. I believe that. These children are being lied to so badly. It's gaslighting on a level. And gaslighting is just a euphemism for something that is completely wicked. It's wicked. It's psychological abuse. Okay. So when I come off as judgy, like, yeah, you may have put your kid in a mask or something, you have to sit down, in my opinion, with your child and be like, I made a mistake. I listened to people I shouldn't have listened to. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? It will be so healing for you to do that. Okay. That's all. I just want people to be honest with themselves, honest with their children, because if we're not, it's the only way forward and to break these spells. Who's random fan? Is that your brother, Matt?
No, no, I don't know. I don't know. I will say, so I have been following the chat, but I told Faye that when I get involved in chat, I ignore her. It's very rude. So
that's right. I have to go pee. So sorry. MILFs pee. I'm being very vulgar. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
But you go ahead, and I'm just gonna hold on. But I did want to tell you, I guess Ray shared the live tonight, and we have a lot of people coming in. So I mean,
because of MILFs, they're like MILFs. Like, hey, I get it. I probably would have done the same thing. MILFs and Muggles. That's interesting. Well, thank you for joining us, Mary. Take over for a second. I'll be right back.
Yes, random fan. I'm not sure who you are. I see Boston behind you there. That's very cute. Kind of looks like Kermit, but it's not. But anyway, so yeah, school. So you think nothing has changed because it's still a war zone? I'm not sure of what your age is. I see a follow-up. Hold on. I want to follow this. If children are our front line, it's like the mask is like a hand grenade. It's terrible. It literally is. And I mean, we're seeing so much of the effects of it. I had a video on our last channel, which I might put up after this live, because I do think that people need to be reminded of what was actually going on a couple of years ago. And it's all about how these children are traumatized, and they were traumatized during it. And now it's like, what are they dealing with? PTSD? But so yes, let me see what there are sigils all over the place. The swirl pattern is interchangeable. People, be careful of what you tattoo on your body. a lot of info for another time. Yeah, I do know that there is a lot of patterns, but I remember even talking to you about this in person. I always thought that the swirl was a, I'll just say pedo symbol, but then you explained so much more. So definitely, if you want to come on sometime, you know, and talk about this, because they are, and they are sigils. I do want to say hello to my dear friend Soul Alpha. Um, let's see, taught empathy growing up, or is empathy only something you can learn as you go along? It's funny because I have been still playing with the chatbot. Don't judge. Don't judge. Wheels has already been like, Mary, stop feeding the bot. But I went on and I had to correct it about the difference between empathy and sympathy. So if you guys ever want a vocabulary lesson, I'm your girl, because sympathy means that you can kind of understand, you can just say to somebody, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. And empathy is when you can relate and you've actually experienced it. Oh, my daughter's freaking out. Am I wrong? Sorry, Faye.
No, I'm looking at the question. It's a good question.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I think you can learn. See, like, I feel like everything's changing. It's so weird because my daughter's now conflicted because I got the definitions right, but we do say like somebody's an empath. And I think that literally you can be born that way. You're born that way, and then it's abused out of you, in my opinion. What do you think, Faye?
I'm just kind of walking into it. I think that because we're raised as muggles, we are so much more powerful than we know. As soon as they told us to stand 6 feet apart, I said, I don't know the details, but I know what this is. And this is satanic. 6 feet apart. And when you're near someone, you can feel their energy. And you said earlier we have 5 senses. I've heard many streams argue that we have more than 5 senses, and I believe that. There's the argument that we have our pineal gland, and remember they had to put the temperature thing right there. So
Yes.
I don't know, but I am of the belief that we're all unique, but I think that we're all much more powerful, and we'll only know the true nature of how powerful we are, I think, at maybe the other side. But in the meantime, just knowing that what our enemy isn't the left. Our enemy isn't our enemy. It's like the Bible says, it's spiritual wickedness in high places and their minions. We are literally under attack from spellcraft. And I don't know the deets, but I'm telling you, I've seen it in people's eyes. I know you have too, Mary. So I don't know if that answers your question. So empathy, I think that even talking is unnecessary. I believe that wherever we're going, when we ascend or whatever, and wherever we're going, if you I'm no one to judge, and that's why I prefer muggles now to NPC, because I can't damn anyone. But I do believe that we're eternal. I believe that we won't even have to open our mouths. We'll be able to read each other's minds. And guess what? You're not going to be able to lie if everyone can read your mind. It's going to be a very truthful society. I look forward to it. Mary.
Yes.
Are you okay? Is your throat okay? Is your pharmaceuticals okay? I don't like it.
My pulse is normal. I'm sorry. I'm the opposite of you, Faye. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm like, wait, why do I feel my pulse? Like I feel like I'm a walking pulse. Trust me, it's not comfortable. But anyway. And anyways, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. Praise God, I don't need them because I did fine for 2 years or a year and a half without them. But so Ray is saying, hold on, I do want to scroll back because they're having a great conversation over here. So he got a tattoo that turned out to be a sigil sideways.
What's a sigil again?
A sigil is like they have power, but it's always it's always a negative power. They usually come from like the occult. But occult just means unseen. So
unknown.
I am gonna put that out there.
Yeah, I know that. But we're still ruled by an occultocracy. A hidden
yes,
ocracy.
exactly.
Is
So they're probably not putting out like the good sigils, right? They're probably putting out like black magic sigils that were all like, oh, that's really cool. I'm gonna get that tattooed. I'm not judging. I've never had a tattoo, but I'm afraid of needles. And
I
that's why.
love that you don't have a tattoo. Joe doesn't have any tattoos. And I always say to my kids, I say, all the cool people don't have tattoos. I have two. They're fine. They're little, but I just, and people do, but I feel like it's cooler not to have them. It's just my humble opinion.
Even though I will say, hold on, I will say I don't have one because I'm a coward. Okay. But so
and your mother would kill you.
Literally, I would be dead. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the past 3 years have been a classic lesson on how to manipulate even otherwise intelligent and reasonable people. I mean, it's coming on so fast. It really is. I do have another one. Let me just share this one on that note. It's stupid, but actually I might not be able to share this. Let me see. Sorry.
You take your time.
Yeah, I don't think I have it. But anyway, let me while you anyway, I'm just going to tell you. I'm sure everybody has seen it by now, but there was a group of people. Actually, I'm just going to show you on my phone. I was high tech long enough, wasn't I?
Hey, you did great. You did better than I ever could. So, God bless you.
Oh God.
One thing while you're looking for
it really I feel like this all ties into the confusion that's going on right now. And we kind of don't know where we're at, okay? So here's the story. All right. Hobby Club's missing balloon feared shot down by the United States Air Force. Okay,
another balloon?
Well, you know that there was, what was it, 3 or 4? It's speculated 5. Remember, we had the China one, then we had the torpedo one, then we had the hexagon one, and like it turned into like people being like, okay, great. Now we're on the precipice of Project Bluebeam. The big alien reveal is about to happen. And then I come across this article, and when I first saw it, I thought it was somebody being hilarious.
You thought it was like the Onion. You thought it was the Onion.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
totally.
it turns out that it's quite real. Okay, so a small globe trotting. Oh, you froze? Did I freeze? Am I frozen?
Go ahead. You were reading it.
Oh, I just wanted to read the first paragraph so people know what the hell I'm talking about. A small globe-trotting balloon declared missing in action by an Illinois-based hobbyist club on February 15th has emerged as a candidate to explain one of the 3 mysterious objects shot down by 4 heat-seeking missiles launched by the USAF fighters since February 10th. All right. What the hell is going on? Why are we being trolled so hard?
My opinion, and I'm sure there's much, much, much more to it. The 7-Eleven part-time job, that's from Matt, by the way, from Quantum. I'll send you a really good one from him. Was a huge crime against humanity. And at the time, I was completely blue-pilled and ready to join the military. Yeah. COFIB is a ginormous crime against humanity. And I think that it was a little more obvious and a lot of people are getting it. And not only that, like mistakes are being made on purpose, like with the whole died suddenly thing. They just need us distracted, because if we were actually allowed to like sit around the dinner table and take a deep breath, we might be like, what the hell just happened to us? What are we going to do? But like instead it's like the news, north, east, west, south, they got you looking everywhere all the time.
Yes.
You can't breathe. You can't breathe. That's
Exactly. I need my boost methanol. No, I almost said methanol. Is that what it's called?
You need your
Menthol.
menthol.
I need some menthol. Eucalyptus air. Not menthol. That would be terrible. I think that
It's
kills
a
you.
lot. And this is what gets me so sad about the churches, because the churches should be a refuge in this time. But I guess the church age is over, because they're not. I'm going to become a Rastafarian, okay? The only religion that stood up for any of this is Rastafarianism. So, you know, I like their music. I'm good. I'm joining.
Okay, I will say, remember I told you last week that the Alphabet organization was watching churches, right?
Yes.
And it's actually expanded now to, it turns out the Mormons were involved in that, and certain like sects of Christianity were involved in that.
Well,
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say, I do feel like these churches are about to go through their time of penance.
Oh, they are. Because they are. You mark my words. They thought they were playing ball. They got their tax exempt status. But you don't understand. You said it, Mary, once. What is it? There's no honor among thieves. And they're going to come after you. They don't care about your status, your 501c3 status. Mary, I agree with you.
I do have to say,
I don't like it. And I hope that when the persecution comes, they repent for real, and I'll be there with open arms.
It's always the people. This is why. Oh, you're froze. Okay, you're back. Were you talking?
When I say clown world, you say cousins.
No, it's always the people that suffer. The people suffered when they locked their doors. The people are suffering now because they're now considered like a threat. You know, it's not the hierarchy. It's never the hierarchy. So it's like, I do want people to at least keep that in mind, whether you agree with their faith or not. I remember after 9 or 7/11, I remember them raiding mosques in New York, and me being like, holy crap, this is where they're going to start. They're going to come after all of us. But enough people were kind of like, yo, freedom of religion, that they had to shut it down. And we always have to kind of be, if you're a constitutionalist, which I am, I know, Faye, but which I am, it's like right now, I'm like, okay, people have freedom of religion. So I am going to defend their right, even if I don't agree with them. And I remember after that event, that was a huge one. So we're just seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm still not worn out. I'm still I'm still in it to win it.
You are still in it to win it. 8 children later, and you look fabulous, and you're smoking your cigarettes. You know what? You smoke that cigarette. I'm so glad. I'm such a bad cousin.
I will.
I'm so glad you didn't give up smoking.
Hold on.
You didn't need that headache.
How's my pulse? Is my pulse okay?
I know I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
I know.
I'm so glad. Like, who the hell needs to give up smoking right now? I'm about enjoying. This is one message I got from my dad when my dad passed on, and it was so clear as day. Like, my dad was like, do what makes you happy. And I know that sounds like kind of like, but it was like it was a spiritual thing. Like, Faye, you're not going to be here forever. This is an experience that you may never have again. And it wasn't like he knows that I don't kill people. That doesn't make me happy. Like, he's like, just do what makes you happy. It was very clear as day within the first 3 days when he passed. And because I don't like to hurt people for happiless. Like, I like an occasional cigarette, and an occasional glass of wine, an occasional dancing on a speaker in Cancun. That's why I like milk, but occasional, like, I like to have.
Hold on, you talked over the last part of that. Occasional dancing on the speaker in Cancun. That's why what?
When well, that's what, it doesn't hurt anybody. All of those things I just said. I mean, I guess you could link cigarettes like you could link it all to, like, everything is linked to something. But when my father passed, I don't know. I don't know if people agree with me, but when my dad is the closest human being that ever passed in my life. And I've lost pets, and that's a very big thing. That's a very significant thing too. And it gets you ready to lose the person. That 3 days when he passed, I felt his spirit so much. And now I think he's somewhere else and in a better place. And sometimes I get but those 3 days, it was almost like I had like not a Ouija board, but like a walkie-talkie almost talking to him. And he said clear as day, he was like, Faye, do what makes you happy. And it wasn't like a hedonistic thing, because he knows that, like, I don't want to cheat on Joe or like go on MILF Island.
That's what I was going to say. All right. That's what I was going to say. What are you doing? Don't do that. You're freaking me out.
Who?
My daughter.
B-Dat? I love B-Dat.
B-Dat. She's always there.
What's a great name for a band, B-Dat? I love it.
But no, with happy, do what makes you happy. I strive for contentment, which I think, what makes me happy. I could like blow my family's bank account if I was a big spender. I'm not saying I promise you, I'm not
making you happy. That would make you miserable, right? Yeah,
exactly. And contentment, just that peace, and just being like, I'm content right now. And a lot of the times when the world is burning down around you, finding that inner like peace and contentment can be a struggle. And that's why it's so important to be very in tune with yourself, not to sound too new age, yourself and what makes you happy. And I will say, guys, I got onions coming up already, and I got my celery coming up already. Woo! Exactly. All right. I'm in love with life right now.
I love it. And I hope Joe's listening. Joe's like I'm more the indoor girl. I like whatever he does, I'll cook up, but he's more the gardener. Our yard is looking crazy from our new dog, but that's okay. I'm a believer. Joe's like, Faye, have faith. I always make the yard look good. But yeah, like, do what makes you happy. That's what my dad, like, it's like, we're not going to have cigarettes wherever we're going in the next life. And I'm not saying like to blow your family's savings and to like be smoking when you pick the kids up from sports and embarrass your kids. But if you want to enjoy a cigarette in private, like, seriously, like,
what about on the interweb? Is this okay, guys? I'm going to relight it because I put it.
That's the first thing I'm going to do when I get off. But I'm lucky. I don't know.
No, I know, but you know what? This doesn't make me happy, and it's only it does actually. Smoking makes me happy, but it's very temporary. And then in the next hour, I'm going to have to make myself happy again. Whereas I know if I overcame this vice, I would have contentment, which is again that inner peace and that balance. So
you're so right. You are so right. There's such a like contentment over superficial happiness every day, all day.
Yes.
I cut back on drinking, just because like my husband, it's fine, but it's like, I don't need to drink during the week. I'm walking dogs. I'm busy. Like I haven't been drinking during the week, but I met Unique for breakfast for her birthday, and I had a Bloody Mary on Thursday. And like later in that day, I was just like kind of off. And Joe's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, I have Bloody Mary brain. I wasn't myself. Like, I laid down and I don't need it anymore. I don't need that. But I like my wine. Smoke away.
This is what I worry about. So usually, just so you know, I used to shut off my camera and Faye's like, Mary, everybody knows, but I don't want to trigger I hate that word. I hate the word trigger, but
but it is fitting because people do get triggered. But like, I hate it too.
Yeah, but I don't like, so I'm glad to know that, because I should probably shut off my camera when I'm doing that because people worked hard to overcome their vices.
Right. And sometimes when you're watching TV, it's like you cannot watch TV now. And I like to drink. I love it. And they're always drinking wine in every scene. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, I want a glass of wine. And I'll be like, Faye, it's Wednesday at 5. Why do you want wine? It's like, I watch TV. So,
yeah.
But we have to understand, Muggles, myself included, Muggles, they're doing spells on us. I feel like I've made a breakthrough. They're not NPCs. They're not normies. We're not NPCs. We're not normies. We're Muggles, and we're not victims. We are awakening to the fact that there are creatures and people that are doing spells on us. They are. They are. I sounded like a donkey. What's the face?
No.
What? Tell me. Are they talking about me?
Yeah, we're all just talking about you. No.
I feel like I'm being a bitch. That's why
no.
I don't want to be judgy.
No, you're not. I feel like if anything, we come off as mealy mouth sometimes. Okay. He just shared the stream with his mom. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
He's gonna be like, here, mom. Here, mom. Here's a stream called MILFs and Muggles.
Oh, shut up. Maybe I'll change it when we hang up.
Mom's like, what are you trying to say, random fan?
Oh my goodness, no. Hopefully she doesn't know what that means. She's not gonna know. I doubt my mom would know. Actually, my mother totally would know. And if my mother saw the name of this, like, yes, if my mother saw the name of this, she'd be like, you filthy, what are you putting out there into the...
We're speaking out against it, Auntie. I love your mom.
I know. Chill out, Mom.
You know what? You guys used to go to bed. I used to hang out with your mom, and believe me, she
knows what's up. She's kind of scary, even though she's 80.
She does know what's up, and I had some amazing conversations with her. I'll never forget them.
Yeah,
we had a good time.
That's good.
It's good.
Anyway, I do feel like my heart's about to beat the hell out of my chest, so I feel like I might have to hang up. I'll be fine. But yeah,
you better be fine, Mary. Let's say we don't usually pray on anyone, please, anyone that please, in Jesus' name, please let Mary be okay. Please let her feel better, and please, God, let all the issues, please, God, take them away from her in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. I'll pray again. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, now I'm getting panicky because it's coming back. But anyway, it's not that big of a deal. Big pharma, am I right? Messing me up.
Yourself. The pharma did it.
It's messing me up. So anyway, but my goodness, we had an epic live. I think we have to thank Ray for that. So kind. And I did see, oh my gosh, can I scroll back this far? I didn't want to interrupt you because sometimes when I put things on screen, it's only for me to remind myself. Oh my gosh, I actually have to scroll back far, Faye. This live.
We have a big live. I can't see the chat at all. Thank you, anyone that's listening or
It
watching.
was Mama Love. It was Mama Love. But I
Aw.
did. Oh, here she is.
Mama
So
Love, we all
yeah,
do it.
I
Mama
don't remember.
Love, Young Love, I love you both
Yeah,
so much. Young Love's been a little MIA. Please give her my love, and I will text
same
her
here.
soon. And I love you both so. I love them both so much.
Kelpie.
They're so close. They're just. Oh, I met them in person. The truth
Hold
community
on.
needs to get back together, though. Go ahead.
Try kelp instead. It's natural. I'm gonna look into that. Thank you for that.
She knows her
And
stuff. That's my mommy. She's ahead of her time.
I mean, sorcery. Yeah.
Right? Marry your muggle. Marry your muggle. This is what I'm trying to tell people.
I needed to stay alive. I'm sorry. But like we can't be too
stay alive.
we can't be too hard on people because people literally do need it. So
This is
I
why
don't. Praise God.
Muggles is I feel like Muggles is less hard than NPC or Normie. Muggles is just like maybe try some
Magnesium. I have been taking magnesium. Thank you.
Melody's looking smoking in her picture. Like nice blonde hair. Look at her.
Oh my gosh! Wasn't even looking.
Freaking mermaid.
I'm getting my specs out for this.
Get your specs out.
Oh,
Gorge.
is your hair blonde or is it gray? Because I want my hair to look like that, but gray. It's gonna look amazing in like 5 years. You guys stay
it's super
tuned.
long. I love long hair, and guys, so
do
do guys. Guys love long hair, so they do.
All right. Well, yeah. Do you mind if we wrap it up? Sorry, but
you didn't have me judge the super hunks, but you better come back next week.
I'm gonna come back next week with the super hunks, and I have reworked the super hunks intro, so it's gonna be way more snazzy, and it's gonna be basically the same thing, but different.
All right. Well, I hope you feel better, and much love to everyone that tuned in or listened now or later. Let me hear ghost stuff.
I'm admiring it even more. I love. Oh my gosh!
And it looks smoking hot. And Mary, that's what you're going for. It looks amazing.
See, my journey's only a couple months in, but I'm on the journey. All right. I'm not dying it anymore.
I'm gonna do the same thing, guys. Like I love it. I mean, it's like Faye, you're such a liar. This is a little blonde I put in. I'm going to Mexico. So
all right. So thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Faye, as always. Faye's the main character of this live. I decided that.
Stop. I hate when you say that. The main character is Heart Eyes, okay? Shut up. Mary, I couldn't do without you. I wouldn't even we've been having these conversations since forever. Since you were in your cradle. I remember you in your cradle and looking and be like, you're the cutest little baby in the world. And you'd look up and you'd be like, literally, we would have, are you okay? You keep going like this.
I know, I'm feeling my pulse. I feel like my heart's going to jump out of my chest, but I'm fine.
Right. I'm not the main character. We've been having these conversations literally since you were born. I love you. And when we get off, I'm calling you because I'm worried. And everyone, please, please, please say a prayer for Mary. You'll be okay.
Right. I'll be fine.
Thank
you all for joining us. God bless you all. Have a good night, Faye.